Welcome to the Brunswick Built Podcast, the podcast that features the inspiring stories of Brunswick County Schools, students, and staff, those that make us proud to be Brunswick Built. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Brunswick Built Podcast, where we dive into the heart of Brunswick County Schools and celebrate the people who make our community thrive. I'm your host, Ben, and today we're thrilled to bring you a truly inspiring guest. Joining us today is Kari Babson, the newly crowned Brunswick County Schools Teacher of the Year for the 2025-2026 school year. Hailing from West Brunswick High School, Kari's dedication, passion, and innovation approach to education has earned her this well-deserved recognition. As we gear up for an incredible new school year, Kari's journey and insights promise to light the way for students, educators, and the entire BCS family. So grab a seat, tune in, and let's get started as we explore her story and the impact she's making in our schools. Let's go. Welcome, Kari. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks. I hope you're doing well also.
I am doing well. I'm adjusting to this new position, so we're just figuring this thing out, and the podcast is a new fun thing we're doing that highlights special people like you, so I think it'll be a fun thing to do.
Awesome. I'm happy to be here today.
How's the new car?
It is fantastic. I think I've already put 2,000 miles on it with different things throughout the past 3 weeks that I've had it, but it's great. It's beautiful and drives nice, and I can fit all my family in it, and it's great. I love it.
So it's the dedicated car right now when the Babson family needs to take a trip.
Definitely the dedicated car, yes.
And I'm sure the kids love it because it's huge in there.
They do. There's plenty of room for them to spread out. I have 4 kids, and one of them just got married, so there's just 3 left. So they're loving it.
So then you'll have to fit all the grandkids in there eventually?
Oh gosh, don't get into that yet. I'm too young for that. Wait a minute.
Well, I think that's like the coolest sponsorship ever. When I saw that last year, they were handing away a car and then you got to pick what you wanted. I thought that was super cool.
That was even better. I think the day that we went, it was a smaller, like an Equinox maybe. And I thought, oh man, I wanted a Suburban if I won. And then he said, anything on the lot except for a Corvette. You can pick anything. And he meant it. Like the day that I went to pick it out, he was like, listen, anything on the lot, whatever you want. And I said, I've actually been looking already and I'm interested. I know I want a Suburban. So he started taking me to every single one. And when we got to the High Country one, I said, this is actually the one that I've been looking at on your website. So
the High Country ones look really nice. When I stepped in it the other day, I was like, oh man, These seats are nice.
Yeah, he said the same thing. He was like, the color of the leather is like peanut butter. And it's beautiful.
I loved it.
I'm grateful for it.
So do you feel weird in it or you've adjusted to it? It's like, oh, it's my car now. Or you still feel like...
I think I've just in the past few days hit like, okay, this is mine. And he really, like Wayne Barber at Capital Chevrolet is fantastic. And he said, this is your car. You drive it, take it, do whatever with it that you want. It's yours to drive. And I drove a Yukon before, so I'm used to like the size of it. Mm-hmm. And then you have the option to buy it at the end of the year. So
I thought that was the coolest part.
Yeah.
That way you really kind of feel like it's yours.
Yes.
And then you picked a good car, so you won't go halfway through the year and be like, oh, I really don't want this anymore. But so that was a good choice on your part. I've been trying to push my wife towards the Suburban for the same seating aspects. It's got that extra row in the back. And it's got like those the captain chairs, like the old vans when we were growing up, like those big giant vans. So I always think that's really cool. Well, congratulations on that. Congratulations on Teacher of the Year. So we got a few questions to go over. Okay. We'll just chat about them, and then we'll see where it goes, and hopefully everybody loves listening to it.
Okay.
So what inspired you to become a teacher, and how has teaching in Brunswick County shaped your passion for education?
So growing up, I grew in a rural area of Virginia, in the southwest part of Virginia, and I grew up next door to my grandparents. And my grandmother was a first grade teacher, and I was very close to both of those grandparents, and I just saw her go to work and come home from work, and I remember she had the coolest like costume jewelry, right? How dumb that I think that is all I remember is the costume jewelry that every season she would have. But then as I got older, I met people who had her as a first grade teacher, and she just really inspired me with her patience and love that she had for instilling a love of learning for not just her students, but also for her grandkids too. So I knew that I wanted to be a teacher at an early age because of Grandma Brown. And then when I got into high school, I had an awesome choir teacher and a really great marketing teacher. And it was my marketing teacher that really instilled in me the passion of taking things to the next level with students and having them learn how to take daily life interactions with people and businesses and turn it into a job and a career and just see why things work the way they work within a business.
It's funny when we grow up, there's those little memories you hold on to that just trigger something in your mind that bring you back to that time. So it's funny that you're talking about the jewelry being like seasonal.
Yeah.
And that's big for teachers because you're just always moving through the year and trying to encourage your students. Yeah. So that's a good memory to have. That's really good that it was also like your grandma, that you can relate it back to somebody in your family that inspired you to doing that. Yeah. Because I remember one of my most inspiring teachers was actually a marketing teacher I had in college as well. And just how she related the simple things to selling something, but also just relating, like getting people to latch on to that. Yeah. It's really like a cool subject.
Absolutely.
And that's what I do. So it's funny that's what you teach. So your promotional video for the Teacher of the Year highlighted your leadership in the classroom. What does teaching leadership mean to you, and how do you inspire students to become leaders?
I think that leadership is being an example. So it's not just what I teach, but how I actually live. Like I'm not a do as I say and not as I do. It's if I expect you to do it, I'm going to do it too. And I think that's part of being leadership. It's not about the title of being a teacher or a leader. It's the influence and impact that you can have on somebody else's life, not just your students, but your colleagues too. So I just give my students opportunities to lead and fail in the classroom, and it's okay to fail. That's how we learn. That's how we grow.
I think that's an important thing that people don't want to think about, is that failure is actually what leads you to success. And you don't just come out the gate with success. Right. It's usually several failures till you get to that point. So that's encouraging that's how you teach your students, because I feel like that's lost along the way sometimes with definitely new people entering the workforce, because it's okay to fail. You're not going to succeed at everything you do. Yeah.
I think too that it looks different for every person. Every individual leadership looks different for. So if my students can leave my room a little more confident than they came in, you've got some kids that are just natural born leaders, and you have some that you've got to kind of get them out of their shell and find their purpose and how we can use them, because I really do focus a lot in class on how each one of us are different, and we all have great things that we can put forth in working in groups and things like that. I need the quiet person, I need the artsy person, I need the loud person, I need all of those people, so we pull those traits out. So when I have a need for a person, I have those relationships and know their personalities to know who I can go to for it.
Yep. Yeah, that's very important that they all understand they play a role in that. I used to be a manager, so that's what I would always instill in my technicians at the time was, you guys aren't good at everything, but you might have a skill that maybe she doesn't, and so you can pivot to her when you have a question and pull it out. And leading by example, I take that to heart, because that's how I always manage my people. Was if somebody is out, I went and played that technician, because I can't ask them to do something if they don't see that I can do what they do.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So that's really inspiring. So as a Teacher of the Year, you're an ambassador for education in Brunswick County. What's one message you want to share with our community about the importance of public education?
Public education is the heartbeat of our community. It's where our future leaders and workers are created and made. And I like how we have that tagline of Brunswick Built now, because it's not just a tagline, it really is truly a promise to the community. And if we don't have the community's efforts and helps with us within the public education system, not saying that we would necessarily fail, but boy, could we be so great if everybody was on board and together supporting and helping one another.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that tagline of Brunswick Built means a lot. I'm Brunswick Built, coming from somebody in technology to here. You're Brunswick Built. So I think building people from the ground up and always giving somebody, whether it's students in the school district or relating it to a job aspect of somebody within the organization, you always want to give somebody that chance to get the next step up. Absolutely. But just teaching students that just because you went to high school here, you might end up teaching here. You might end up coming back here and then rising the ranks through Brunswick County Schools or even the county. Yep. But as somebody who's getting older in life, I realize how important it is for your local community to be together. Yep. And having that Brunswick Built initiative of trying to get the students and the community behind everybody to almost level up everybody together and bring the community more together. And just the kids in school today, you could be a county commissioner in a couple years.
Right.
So
I think too, when we all lean in together, we all rise together. And we can do that as a community. We can be truly Brunswick built if we're all in it with the same aspirations and goals and belief that it really is something that can happen.
Yeah, and community is the most important thing. It's what our children grow up. It's what we grow up in. It's what we go out every Saturday and do. So I think that's truly inspiring. And what's one unique aspect of your teaching approach that you think makes a difference for your students?
I want all of my students to know that they matter. I want to have a relationship with all of my students. I want to know their name and something about them that I can liken to myself or make sure that I ask them about. If I know they play soccer, I'm going to ask them about soccer. If I know they're into drawing or their favorite sports team or anything like that, I just try to always find one small thing in common with my students, or maybe not even in common, that they can teach me about where they feel like they care. I think one thing that I can brag about a little bit is that I really haven't had major issues in my classroom with students, even like the troublesome students that other teachers are like, oh, you've got so-and-so on your list, watch out for that one. Instead, I just find something about those students where they come and they know that I care about them and they're in my classroom and they'll work a little bit harder for me because I care and they matter and they're an individual, not just a name on my roster. They are whoever they are and they matter.
That's important to everybody to feel like you matter. And being that you relate that to the students probably helps a lot for them to open up to you and be able to give you something that you give them, right? Because if you don't give them anything, then they probably don't want to give you anything, and they're forced to be here.
Yep.
So when you extend that olive branch, I think you see the fruits that come from that, and that those kids latch on to you, and they're willing to give you something that maybe they weren't somebody else, just because you, not that, I mean, everybody pays attention, everybody cares, but maybe you just paid a little extra attention.
I think they just feel like when they feel like they have someone in their corner, it makes a difference in the classroom.
It does. It makes a difference in life. Yeah. Even in your job. If you feel like nobody's behind you and you're just running the paces, you get burnt out and you don't want to be part of it. So when you rally behind the students, you really see the great things they're capable of achieving.
Oh, sure. And they start to believe in themselves a little bit more because just one person believed in them.
And hey, when you were at the banquet, right? And she gave us that story of the one teacher she went and counted. That's all it takes. It takes one person to really change somebody's life. So it's important to always remember that while you're teaching and educating people, that you could be that person that fundamentally changes their lives. And that's also powerful. I mean, you can sit at home eating dinner one night and be like, man, maybe I changed someone's life.
That's right.
And that's not what we get into it for, but that's one of the aspects of it, right?
That is a benefit. It is, absolutely.
What's one goal you have for your classroom or your students or the organization in the 2025-2026 school year, and how do you plan to achieve it?
I want to really focus on the real-world skills that these students need as they come out into the world, as they graduate and figure out who they are and where they're going. I want to focus on how their soft skills and these different career pathways. I'm fortunate to teach CTE. And so that is real world. I can put them in, job shadow placements and internships and find them jobs. But before that, they need to know the importance of a resume and the things that shouldn't be on it. They need to know how to have an interview and how to have a social interaction with another person, how to shake hands, how to dress appropriately. So one of my big goals for this year is just making sure that they are career ready for after they leave Brunswick County Schools.
I think that's very important. I've sat through many of interviews where, they just don't have the soft skills to even reply to a question or just have a simple conversation. And so the more you work with students, the better are they get at with that. I sit down with my son all the time and we practice public speaking because he had a presentation last year that he didn't really want to give. And so we just sat down and went over it, and I kind of just told him all my thoughts, and I got to be there for that presentation. He just killed it. So it was just one of those things where if you sit down, you work with them on those little soft skills. Definitely a resume. That's something that you don't get taught very often, but it's very important. I mean, if you hand somebody a 4-page resume, they're going to throw it in the trash.
Absolutely.
So it has to be detailed to the point of that job, and I think that's awesome that you teach that to students. And the more they know those things, the better prepared they are for life. And CTE prepares them for life, and that's the career technical education for anybody who didn't know. So those are all classes geared around preparing people for real life. And you teach one of those?
I'm fortunate to. Yes, I love it. It's just great because they're not all ready, right? And I think sometimes we see these kids and they're in adult bodies, but they're kids and they have no idea. And we have to be there to teach them, to train them, to help them, to guide them and figure out where they want to go in their future.
And that's our job.
That's right.
That's what we do.
I get to do it every day.
So as we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd give to a new teacher starting their career at Brunswick County Schools?
Find your people and remember your why. And I know I've always hated when people say, remember your why, and you see different things on social media of people, when the so-and-so says, remember your why, and everybody rolls their eyes. But as I've gotten older and spent more time within the school system, I really do believe that, because teaching can be tough. And while you're really never alone, if you don't find those people in your building, on your hallway, gosh, life can be so much harder when you don't have that group to bond with and to complain to and to laugh with and to share exciting things with your students. So I think that when we can lean in, so as a new teacher, lean in to the amazing educators that we already have here. They'll become your mentors. They'll become your cheerleaders. And
you can collaborate with them.
Man, absolutely. And your lifeline, and just working together. I know that I've appreciated being able to reach out to the teacher that taught sales, and she would have her students in the sales class create pitches and flyers for the carpentry teacher that was selling dog houses. Like, you just see, and it gives kids an opportunity to cross those career pathway lines and think, gosh, I thought that I really enjoyed sales, but now that I see they get to build with their hands, I really like to do that too. And now's the time for them to learn those things at this age. There's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of hours that you put in. But it all fades when you look a student in the eye and you've made a difference for them because you built that relationship and they can see that you care. So there's power. We're not just teaching. We're helping to build something bigger.
Yeah, and again, find your people, right? That relates it back to community.
Yep.
That's a community. You're a community within your school that you can collaborate, pitch ideas to.
Yeah.
Maybe they tell you that one's not good.
Yeah.
But when it comes from your peers, it means a lot and makes you reach that next level.
Yeah. And there are so many people willing to pitch in and help. Like, when we talk about community and being Brunswick built, when I went to pick up the car, Wayne Barber was like, hey, if you've got kids interested in automotive, I want them to come here. We'll do a field trip. They can do behind the scenes. They can talk to my technicians. They can see that it's not just selling a car or fixing a car. There is accounting and so many things that there are people here that want to help, not just the students, but the teachers as well. We just have to reach out and have that open communication with them.
Well, and I think he's a great partnership in our community, and you could even relate that back to your own department, right? Daniel Richardson does all the internships for CTE.
Yep.
And leveraging Wayne to do more internships. Maybe there's an accounting internship there.
Yep.
You can send the automotive kids from the coast down there. They can learn everything about Chevy, sales, marketing people. So again, shout out to Wayne Barber at Capital Chevrolet for being one of the best sponsors Brunswick County has. And is there anything else you wanted to throw in there before we sign off?
I don't think so. Thank you for meeting with me today and doing this. This is fun. I'm excited for what the next year holds.
Well, unfortunately for you, you'll probably have to do a few of these this year. One I want to do is bring Miss Tiffany Graham in as well. Absolutely. So that you guys can kind of pivot about your Teacher of the Years. And I think that'll be really impactful around Christmas when you've had a couple months in and then you can kind of bounce off her.
Got my feet wet.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for tuning into the Brunswick Built podcast, and thanks for joining us today, Kari.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for tuning into the Brunswick Built podcast, brought to you by Brunswick County Schools. To catch all of our episodes, search for the Brunswick Built podcast on our YouTube channel.